Okay, good morning, traders. Today is September 7th, 2023. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB trading room. My SPY pivot this morning is 448.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SPY and QQQ and FNGU remain in daily uptrends with higher highs and higher lows on the daily charts. IWM and the Diamond Dow are currently in 1 hour downtrends. USO, crude oil, remains abnormally bullish. Meanwhile, natural gas, UNG, is stuck in the bearish flag. That's a long-term bearish flag. It's a hockey stick, let me tell you. Gold and silver are experiencing sharp pullbacks after being rejected at the downtrend line. The US dollar index just keeps ratcheting higher and higher. I think we're close to a top now because let me just say that the highs are not significantly higher. They keep getting shallower and shallower, the highs do. Okay, we got a bullish 3-day MMRP setting up on the SPY. We're going to need FNGU to hook us up if this is actually going to work out for us. Members are invited to the combo room for a members only e-learning webinar. We will be conversing about favorite chart patterns. I hope to see members from all 3 services there. Good morning, Julie. All right, so let's go look at some charts. Let's move this out of the way. Let's blow this up. So here is our, well, let's just go look at it on the daily. All right, so here's our daily chart. And I'm going to take off, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just move it to regular data. Okay, so this is yesterday's price. We are, as you can see, we are coming down here in the pre-market, but this is yesterday's price action. All right, we've got this is the low, we've got a higher low, we've got a higher high. Now it looks like we're creating yet again another higher low, okay? Yesterday's price action kept us underneath this downtrend line. We have on the daily candle, we have a higher low, we've got a lower low and a lower high. So not looking good there. Hopefully we can get looks like a slight bounce off the backside of this downtrend line. And that's a good sign, okay? So right now we've got this white line right here. That's going to be the T line. All right, and this yellow line up here, can't see it, but it's blended in with the green right there. All right, that's the 3 EMA. So we got price action, the T line, and the 3 EMA still holding up over our trend indicator. That's our 17-day moving average right there. So that's still in positive territory right there. And we have still a daily uptrend because we've got higher lows, higher highs, and possibly a second higher low here. We'll see what happens. Now, I was talking about the 3-day MMRP, so here's the 3-day chart. I'm going to be reviewing this. That's going to be my favorite chart pattern. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to do that this afternoon when we do this. All right, here's our igniting bar. See the reversal? So MMRP stands for Market Maker's Reversal Pattern. Okay, the first candle is usually an igniting candle. Okay, so, but notice, we're not using the 1 day, we're going to use the 3-day chart. So igniting candle, second candle is a pause. Now sometimes the second candle can be a pause and a check of support at the same time. Second candle is a pause, third candle check support, and then we're going to look for 3 consecutive 3-day candles. All right, so that's 9 candles in all, 9 daily candles in all, but we're looking for 3. each one of them making higher lows and higher highs than the previous candle. All right, that's what we're looking for this to play out, and we're going to need some help from the FNGU to make this happen. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, so where did we come to yesterday? Let's just go drill down, take a look at the 30-minute chart, and you can see right here we've got an anchored VWAP that happens to be located at the high of 727. So let's go out to the hourly chart, and this is the 727 high right there. Or excuse me, this is right back here. 727 high. So you can see this candle, this anchored VWAP winds up coming. So we made a visit after passing through. Remember, it's the anchored VWAP up here at the all-time high of this year. Okay, that's where I anchored it. And you can see we made a visit back to the all-time high anchored VWAP, which happened to be at 446, about 35. It says 43 there, but it was, when we were trading it yesterday, it was 446.33 or something like that. So you can see here's price coming back. Now, this is the most recent low, is the blue line here. And I believe this morning we are in store for, as you can see, we're almost down there right now. All right, we're in store for price action to kiss, touch, poke, spike this trend line right here, which starts right here on the low, okay, made on 8/18. All right, so that's the anchored VWAP for 8/18. So inside the upper trend line made on 7/27, and inside the lower trend line made on 8/18. Okay, so between the two of them, we like to consider that the chop zone. So once price passes through and starts closing hourly candles down here, we will have a more bearish bias. But at this time, we are in a chop zone between the two anchored volume weighted moving averages right there. Okay, so it's a range of 446.38 roughly down to 443.48. And you can see we're at 444.52 in the pre-market. So these are my targets for today, is a good size spike or a kiss or a touch, something to probably make a connection on this lower anchored VWAP. We'll see. Now if we happen to get through there, start closing candles below it, I'm looking for a next target of 441.03. We'll see what they want to do. They'll probably come down and spike it pretty good, and then come back up through it, and then come back and test the backside of this downtrend line. All right, right there, we'll see that. So I'm going to roll this out on the bigger picture so you can see how everything looks if you look at it on a bigger picture. All right, so there's your uptrend lines right there. And then this one right here, if we zoom out it even a little bit further to a 4-hour chart, you can see this is the October last year low, making a connection there. We could eventually start trading down to this trend line here. We could make a date right there. Right now, I believe that price action is going to come to some area up here around 460 and then even higher. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to need some help from the FNGU. So that's SPY this morning. So I'm going to drag this back over here. And let's go take a look at QQQ. All right. So we're going to look at QQQ on the daily chart. All right, kind of doing the same thing. All right, a little bit lagging behind, but same thing could play out on QQQ. Is the 3-day market makers reversal pattern. You can see reversal igniting candle right there. Pause, check of support. Notice, look for that to probably check this midpoint right there, and then try to navigate over this downtrend line. So that's QQQ, 3-day possible market makers reversal pattern on QQQ. All right, back to the daily chart. Okay, so what do we got here? We got price. We got the 3 EMA. That's the yellow one, and we've got the T line. All three hanging out over the 17 exponential moving average right there. That's those dots. Okay, so that's our trend indicator dots right there. All right, so that's bullish. That's bullish. All three hanging out over the 17 EMA. That's bullish for me. All right. Now, what do we also got? We've got, okay, here's a low. We've got, oh, look, here's a higher low. All right. Oh, look up here. Even we got a higher high. So now we're getting a pullback here. Possible second higher low. We'll see where it ends. All right. It might not be finished today. Might not be finished tomorrow. We'll see what happens if they're going to be able to stick a second higher low in here for QQQ. At that time, we can start connecting some dots and make some new trend lines. In the meantime, we're going to have to connect the two highs because we've got two highs to connect together there. And we're going to use this, and we'll create a parallel, and this will be our temporary trend line over here. So that is a possible target. See where support and the trend line cross. This could be a possible target for today. We'll see what happens. That's QQQ. All right, now let's take a look at, isn't that a neat trick? Connect the tops, create the parallel, and then stick it right on the previous low. You don't get that anywhere else. Right there. That's a pretty cool trick. Look for that, and you'll see price action coming in right there. You'll see. There's a good chance it comes there. We'll see what happens. All right, now let's go take a look at FNGU. All right, so here we are at FNGU. Kind of the same thing happening here. All right, now if we look, we've got price action, lower low, and lower high. That's a daily candle, right? All right, but all in all, making a nice bull flag. That's pretty good right there. Getting jammed up by the midpoint. All right, that's the dotted line. If we zoom out, you can see when we measure from the high to the most recent low, this is the midpoint that's jamming up the FNGU. All right, but notice all three, price action, the 3 EMA, and the T line, that's the 8 EMA, all hanging out over the trend indicator, that's the 17 EMA. All right, now in the pre-market, where are we? You can see we're underneath the trend indicator, so we'll see how long this is going to last. Where will we find support on FNGU? Well, the first support is going to be this tail right here, and we'll see if that's going to be able to hold price up. If not, there's a possibility it comes all the way down to this tail right here, and the high of that tail is 167.41. So we'll see how far it wants to get this morning. Well, actually today. So we'll put a line right in there. 167.41, well, 47. Either way, 167.41. If they start trading, if they continue this ride down, look for price to hit this as a possible target. So there's FNGU. Now let's see, this is the head and shoulders. This would be the left shoulder, all of this over here. And I can draw that in for you so you can see that. So this right here, that's the left shoulder. There's the head. And this right here is the right shoulder. This would be the neckline, all right? from here to here, and then we draw a line right in there. And you can see price action is underneath the neckline. We need price action to start closing candles up over the midpoint and then start leaning on this neckline and eventually start closing candles over it. So FNGU got a lot of work to do to help us out with the market maker's reversal pattern. All right, so we're gonna need some participation here. I don't know who's gonna step up and do it in the FNGU, but we're gonna need some help from the FNGU if that market maker's reversal pattern is gonna work out at all. All right, so there's FNGUs. Let's trash that, and let's work on over to the IWM. All right, so move that. IWM. All right, so here's IWM coming down, finding support on, see the valleys right here. IWM finding support on major support right there. The valleys, the tails that stick down, that's major. The humps that stick up, that'd be the wicks that stick up in the air, that's minor support. So we came through minor support and found support on major support. Nice thing about IWM, did make a higher low right here. So the pressure's on the bulls to produce the higher high. You can see IWM getting jammed up here at the midpoint and slamming back down to quadrant 1. Not a good sign. All right. In the pre-market, it doesn't look like it's falling apart like the FNGU. That's a good sign. The only bad sign we have here is, well, guess what? Price action, the 3 and the 8 are all underneath our 17 EMA trend indicator. So that is not good. All right. So what we have here in IWM, if we pull out the hourly chart, see that our trend indicator balls are red. We've got an hourly downtrend here. All right. So not good. We need to turn this around. So we'll see if they can find some support here on minor support. That would be these little hills up here or wicks that stick up. See that right here? We're looking for price action to provide some support from this minor support area and looking for this to bounce up and try to make a higher high and a higher low. So we'll see what happens. All right, we need this minor support to hold for FNGU. All right, if not, looking like this cross right here might be a target. We'll see what happens. IWM, notice everything's still trapped underneath the midpoint. Okay, here's your high. Here's your low. If you measure from the high to the low, that's the midpoint right there. You can see where it got rejected at the midpoint. All right, let's go look at Diamond Dow. All right, so here's Diamond Dow, and what do we got on Diamond Dow? Okay, good news on Diamond Dow is we have a higher low here. Okay, that's good news because that means pressure will be on the bulls to produce that higher high. All right, so here is the possible neckline should a head and shoulders pattern break out or break down, in other words, because you got the left shoulder over here. And yep, I still got it. That would be the left. And this would be the possible makings of a right shoulder right there. Whereas the head would be this whole area up here. Actually, let's just delete that. And we'll erase that. And we'll do it right this time. There we go. That would be the head. Right up there. Possible bearish head and shoulders pattern possibly going to play out. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's trash that and look at everything a little more deeper. All right, so here we got price action got up to the midpoint, and got pushed back underneath the midpoint. All right, here's the high, here's the low. We measured it off. Here's the midpoint, that dash line right there. There's price action pulling back. You can see we even spiked quadrant 1 there earlier today. Looks like it's finding support right on minor support again. So it looks like they're doing another recheck of the minor support. That's his tail sticking up. These humps here, here, and here. That would be minor support. Major support would be this area down here. That's tails that stick down and the valleys down here. Okay, so seeing price action possibly bouncing off of minor support does help us set up a bullish scenario. So we'll see what happens. But if you notice yesterday's price action, we've got a lower low. We've got a lower low and a lower high on yesterday's daily candle. All right, so 1 hour downtrend on the diamonds and possibly a lower high right here. So now we're looking for the lower low. So we'll see what happens where the diamonds want to go with this. If they can actually, bears can actually produce the lower low, or if they're going to fail and this will produce the higher low. And then we will look for the next higher high. So there's Diamond Dow right there. All right, so now let's go look at some of our technical indicators. All right, we'll start off with 2122. This is one of my favorites. Okay, so here's price action from yesterday. Day before, we went from the buy zone clear down to the sell zone. I mean, we just ran right through the chop zone right there. We just gapped right through it. So here's price action. Yes, day before, going from the buy zone clear down to the sell zone. And all day yesterday, we hung out in the sell zone. Almost entered the, we actually did. We entered the oversold zone for a brief time, and then we made a higher low. Here's the low. We made a higher low on the 15-minute right there, higher low, and then went off to make higher highs right there. So we'll see what price action wants to do in the T2122. T2123. All right, let's take a look at that on the 15-minute, and you can see same as the day before, just red all day long. Just selling, selling, selling. All right. Now, we were hoping to catch the backside of this flat 200, and we couldn't seem to hold price up over that. So we'll see if this gold support line will hold price. We'll see what happens. And on the 3-bar chart, again, we had a couple of green days there, and now we've reverted right back to red again. So we'll see what happens if they still have more selling to do. So that's our T2123. So here we are selling, 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 and you can see it show up on the T2123, selling, selling, and possibly more selling again today. Now, on the 3-bar chart, look, we do have a rising 200 that could provide us with a little pop. We'll see what it does. We have a rising 200 that we have not made connection with. This will be the first time price action makes a connection with this rising 200. That could give us a little bit of lift if they decide to respect the rising 200. Now, they could disrespect it and just go right through it. We'll see what they want to do. We won't know until the trading day gets started. So there's T2123. Now let's go take a look at the dollar index. So here's the U.S. dollar index, okay? And let me just say, stronger dollar makes The goods that we sell here in America around the globe more expensive. So our goods and services are more expensive in the global economies. And if they're more expensive, that we lose a competitive edge. It makes an open void for other countries to come in and offer the same basic materials or services for much less. So a more expensive dollar is not good for our markets. But notice the highs are not quite as, like, here's a high. They're not quite, see, now they're getting kind of inchy right here. See that? It's not going up that much higher, all right? So we'll see if this is going to top out here. And that's the US dollar index right there. So we'll take a look at that. Keep an eye on that. I think it's getting close to a top. We'll see what happens. It's at 105 now. All right. For me to be bullish on the markets, I would really like to see the dollar underneath 104.50. Now we're 50 cents higher, but I'd like to see it under 104.50. Anywhere underneath 104.50, I could still be bullish on U.S. markets. But if we look at this, see these tails? We were in a position down here. All right, so we were in this position right around here at one time. And you can see when we were down here, this was minor resistance. Now we've passed up through it. Now we're up over these tails. That's major resistance. So we've passed up through major resistance there. And notice we're closing candles up over major resistance here. So now this and this now become an area of minor support from here to here. So the dollar's got a lot of work to do to get back underneath this minor support. If it hangs out at 103.50, I could still be bullish. And notice that's right about here. But we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. All right. So there's a lot of talk about raising rates. Raising rates makes the dollar a little bit stronger. Stronger dollar makes the index go up. So we'll have to see what happens here with the U.S. dollar. So let's go take a look at the economic calendar. Hey, good morning, Julie. Good morning, T. And it's not ready. Let's try the earnings calendar. That's not ready yet. Well, while they're juicing up, we got somebody turn the lights on. All right, let's see. All right, here we are. Economic calendar. Today's Thursday, 8:30. We got jobless claims. So in about 1 minute, we're going to get some jobless claims. We're going to see if that's going to move the market. We got PPI, final demand. Not sure what final demand means, but could mean that they are going to revise the original PPI numbers. We got retail sales also at 8:30. So quite a bit of data coming out at 8:30. Not sure if that's going to move the markets or up or down, or if it's going to help or make things worse. Business inventories at 10 o'clock and natural gas at 10:30. Tomorrow, you got the Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30 and import-export prices at 8:30, and then industrial production around 9:15, consumer sentiment at 10. All right, these could move the markets, but I have not seen enough negativity on jobless claims. I haven't heard a whole lot of let me just say retail or factories shutting down work orders yet. So evidently the interest rate isn't enough to curb back auto production or home building. Not yet, okay? I haven't seen any sign of of things cutting back yet. So when those start, then you look for these jobless claims to start ratcheting higher. And of course, more people with less money puts a strain on the economy, and that puts a strain on the markets, and then you begin to see things roll over. So we'll see what happens here with these three this morning. They're already out, so we'll take a look at them later. We'll just kind of watch the SPY, see how they react to it. DocuSign, it's going to report tonight, all right? And the Toro company, I think that's the lawnmower, I'm not sure. They also report, they're going to report this morning. Then it looks like Red Hat, RH, not sure what RH was. They're going to report this evening, and Guidewire also this evening. Tomorrow, we have Kroger reporting early in the morning, all right? PT Telecommunications India, they're going to report, but they don't know what time yet. So it might be probably a foreign ADR, so, they could report at midnight. We'll see what happens, all right? So we've got Electricians Brazil. There's a lot of foreign entities here, so not much happening. Really, all right? They don't know when they're going to report, so that means they're probably going to report when the markets are closed. And for Monday, we got the Oracle. The Oracle is going to report on Monday evening, right there, 3:35. That's a big one. That could move the markets higher, right there, if they come out with some good numbers. All right, so there's Oracle. So we did the economic calendar, we did the earnings calendar. Now let's go take a quick peek at silver and gold. All right, so let's take a look at gold. All right, so here's gold. Okay, here's the downtrend line getting rejected at the downtrend line and the midpoint. So here's that sharp pullback. Now we've got a little bit of minor support. See all those wicks sticking up? So we'll see if they're going to bounce off of those wicks. And it looks like it's a possibility. I see some open price action up here. But notice the daily candle, lower high and lower low. So another hourly downtrend in gold. See the red trend indicator balls? Hourly downtrend. Got lower lows and lower highs here. All right, that's gold. Let's go take a look at silver, and we'll look at it on the daily. Again, getting rejected at the bigger downtrend line right there, up in quadrant 4. Made it quite far to get all the way up to quadrant 4. And then notice price action. See the daily wicks? It just blew right through them. And you notice the tail down here, that would have been the major support right there. So this would be minor. Just blew right through that. So now we're coming down to major support area. Again, that's these valleys right through here. You got valleys right through here and here. This will be our major support right there. So here's price action, sharp pullback all the way into quadrant 1. All right, so that's silver. Trash that and get rid of that. Now let's go take a look at USO. All right, so here's this is abnormally bullish. I mean, this thing did a whole lot of bullishness right there. Look at that rise from 60 all the way up to 75. Then just bull flagged for a couple weeks, and you can see bouncing off the trend line or just breaking out of this bull flag area to make new highs right there. Look at yesterday's price action candle. Notice all three up over the green trend indicator. Whole lot of space there for this to fall with no stair stringer or shelf in there to catch it. other than this minor support right there. That's all that they've got to catch it right there. But so we'll see what USO, this crude oil, wants to do. But really moving up kind of fast here. I'd like it to cool off for a couple of weeks. I actually like to see it just move over to the right from here between this 79 area and 75. I'd like to see it bull flag there. That would be nice. I would take that. If it would bull flag all the way over to this uptrend, that would be cool. Just kind of cool off. You know, you get going too fast, too hard, too high, winds up falling like a deflated football, and it just doesn't bounce. It just comes right down. So I'd like to see this cool off for a little bit. That's crude oil, abnormally bullish right there. UNG, nat gas. Here's our uptrend line, just connecting the dots. Here's the low, and the price action below the uptrend line right there. So, nothing really good to report on UNG. And here's the bear flag. And if you notice, here would be the flag pulled down, and then you take this, and then you've got just a hockey stick over to the right. It's a big bear flag right there. It's going on 8 months now. It looks like it. Just continues to bear flag. Can't break out of this channel. So like to see something change here on that gas. You know, winter's coming, so you'd think something might happen. Here's a uptrend line. Looks like it's being disrespected again today. So maybe that's over with. And we're going for lower lows. We'll see what happens with UNG. Now let's go take a look at the semiconductors. SMH, sloppy bull flag. But, holding price up over this 145 area. Super bullish right there. Just to be able to do that. Now, the longer this plays out means the next move up is going to be just as long as the flag is long, will be just as high as the flag is long. So this is really looking good if we finally do get that breakout on SMH. So here's Tech holding the bull flag, but it's a sloppy bull flag, let me just say that. And we're up over the midpoint. And you can see the price action and the price and the 3 and the 8 all up over the 17 EMA trend indicator. Things are looking up for the SMH. What's not looking up is this lower high and this lower low put in on yesterday's candle. But hanging out over the 17, that's a good sign for me. It may have a date with this uptrend line right here. And then it may finally J-hook to the upside. We'll see what it wants to do. But that's another long bull flag right there, SMH. IYT. All right, it's transports. I got to tell you, traders, nothing really good to report from the transports. Here's the daily candle. Lower high, lower low. It actually expanded the low, actually put in an even lower low on the daily. So you can see, and we've got a lower high on the daily. So here's the high, lower high on the daily. This was the low, made a lower low on the daily. IYT in a downtrend, disrespecting the uptrend line right here. I don't know where this is going to go. Maybe it finds support down here at 236, 237. We'll see if that's where it will finally find support and be able to start bouncing back. Notice the bounce here didn't even get us back to the midpoint. We're down in quadrant 1 and pushing quadrant 1 lower and lower. So there's IYT. Nothing good to report there. XLF. Here's the financials. All right, so here's the financials, and let's drag this over. All right, financials. Here's the high, here's the low. Came back, we got smacked down by the downtrend line and the midpoint right there. Okay, so here's yesterday's candle. Wow, that's a different color. We got a green candle on the XLF yesterday. Now, it did make a lower low and a lower high, and price is underneath the 17, but the 3 and the 8 are still stuck above it, or actually right on it. So, but that is a different color candle than what we've used to see from all the other services, indices, and sectors yesterday. XLF doing something different. So here's XLF looking to move higher. So we'll see what happens. You see they were knocking on the door of quadrant 1. They even spiked it for a brief moment in time. So there's XLF. All right, I want to thank everyone out there in YouTube land. Please subscribe to my channel. If you're not a BYOB member and you'd like to try and see what a trading room is all about and what it's like to be in a trading room or a trading room environment, there's an offer down in the description. And if you use promo code TBYOB50, okay, you can get, you have to use it at a checkout. It's a promo code now. Okay, use it at the checkout. But you can get the link in the description down below. And for 30 days, you can have access to a trading room for $24.50. But you have to use that promo code to get that 30-day trial. All right, so there's a link in the description if you'd like to try out a trading room and possibly be a member of BYOB. All right, so there's your opportunity for, I don't know, me and my wife, we went out at Jimmy John's yesterday. That was about $21. And we didn't even get chips and drinks, but just a couple of subs. So, I mean, for the cost of 2 sub sandwiches, you can have access to a professional trading room for $24.50. So, think about that. The link is in the description down below. And again, use promo code TBYOB50. All right, so now I'm going to turn off the recorder. I'm going to take questions in the room.